Welcome back, my friends, to another video here on the channel. Today we got a bunch of Xbox Series X news for you guys. We got a bunch of brand new information. A bunch of gaming outlets have been posting their previews of the Xbox Series X, and I've compiled a list of some of the key information that you guys may be interested in knowing about the Xbox Series X. But first, if you guys do enjoy this video, be sure to leave it a like, subscribe, guys, and you. We do a variety of gaming content here on the channel, including gaming news like this one. We also do gameplays, let's plays, and different things like that as well. You can also check out all these social links down in the description below, such as my Twitch, our community Discord. If you want to join that, you can follow me at JSkeleton92 on Twitter. I have a Nintendo channel and all that good stuff as well. So, like I said, we have a bunch of stuff to talk about regarding the Xbox Series X. There's probably going to be more to come out, you know, in the coming days and things like that as well. So, you know, keep it locked. Obviously, PS5 will get some more news on that at some point as well, and all the good stuff. So, we're going to start off by saying that the people that have gotten hands-on with the console have said that the console is hefty and it feels like a premium console. It feels like what you're paying for. If that's any worth to you, it feels, you know, it feels like it's of value, right? So, I mean, take that as you will. The second thing is booting up the console. I don't know why I said that weird. Booting up. When you boot up the console, it usually plays a sound, right? You push the button and it does, like on Xbox One, it does that like doodaloo kind of thing, right? Unfortunately, it's the exact same sound on the Xbox Series X as it is on the Xbox One family of consoles. I was hoping, I always like to see what, you know, new sounds they come out with, you know, with new consoles for the boot up sounds and things like that. But unfortunately, there's nothing new about the booting up sound. It sounds exactly like the Xbox One family of consoles. I feel like it should have been different because it is a different console, even though, you know, it's kind of like, you know, it's still part of the same, I guess, ecosystem, for lack of a better word, in the sense that, you know, peripherals and things like that are going to work across, you know, generations. And, you know, obviously there's a lot of cross play and stuff like that as well, which a lot of these people have also mentioned. They've, you know, tried out the cross play, like with Halo 5, for example, and it works flawlessly. You can play multiplayer, you know, from the Series X, and people on the Xbox One probably wouldn't have even known that they were playing on a Series X or playing with someone who's on the Series X, which is kind of funny to think of as well. They also noted that the console is actually very quiet, which is a good thing. You know, I've heard a lot of people, especially with the PS4 Pro, for example, say that, you know, that console is super loud. I'm hoping the PS5 is also very quiet. But, you know, it's good to know that the Xbox Series X is quiet. There's no details on the Series S, unfortunately. It's all regarding the Series X, so keep that in mind as well. And then they started talking about the SSD. Now, the SSD is where a large portion of these previews have been focused on. Again, these are just the first wave of previews. There's going to be more information coming out at a later date. But it's worth noting now, I've been mentioning this time and time again, and some people were kind of, you know, arguing with me about it. But the SSD on the PS5, you're going to have, it's a 1 terabyte, and you're going to have 825 gigs of free space. Sony confirmed that. So you're losing about 175 gigs for the operating system and system files and different things like that, right? Which is normal. I think currently on the PS4, if I remember right, it's like about 140 gigs of space that's being taken up. So the Xbox Series X is confirmed to be the same thing, actually a little bit worse. So on the Xbox Series X, you're gonna have 100, or sorry, not 100, definitely not 100. You're gonna have a 1 terabyte hard drive in the Series X, but you're gonna have 802 gigabytes of that's gonna be usable. So you're taking up a lot more. That's like 198 gigs of free space. A lot more. That's significantly, you know, a big chunk compared to current gen consoles, unfortunately. So, you know, keep that in mind. And what's worse about that is if that is going to translate over to the Series S, then you're really not going to have much space on the Series S. I don't know if it's going to have the same amount of file sizes as the Series S, or if there's anything that's going to be different in that regards. You know, I would imagine most of it's going to be the same because the operating system and most of the system's files. I don't know if the fact that, you know, the console is not as powerful is going to somehow reduce some of the file size. I don't think that's going to be a thing. So if it's the same amount of space being used up, 198 gigs, then you're going to have 314 gigs of free space on your Series S, which is not a lot. You're going to really not have much space because it's an all-digital console. It's going to basically force a lot of people to buy that external SSD from Seagate. Now, you could use an external USB 3.1 hard drive, but that's only good for Xbox One games. You cannot run games that are optimized for Series X and Series S off of an external 3.1 USB hard drive. Furthermore, you're probably not going to want to run Xbox One games off an external hard drive because the load times are actually significantly different, which we're going to get to in just a second here. First, the Seagate expandable SSD, it gives you 920 gigs of extra space. So the actual expandable SSD is going to be taking up about 80 gigs of space for, I guess, you know, again, files and whatnot. You know, it's always like that. You know, even when you buy a hard drive for your PC, about, you know, probably roughly 80 gigs is taken up to, you know, for like, you know, the hard drive files or whatever you want to call it. So 920 gigs free of space out of 1 terabyte, which is really, really good. So, you know, if you do buy that, then you'll get an extra 920 gigs of space either on your Series S or Series X, which you're probably going to want to do, especially on a Series S. You probably get away with it on the Series X. You'll have 800 gigs free. It's a good chunk, but still, with, you know, games already being such large file sizes and probably only getting bigger with, you know, the games getting bigger and things like that, you're probably gonna want that extra, you know, space, like I said, especially if you're on Series S, which is a little bit unfortunate because that SSD does cost a good chunk of money. But, you know, if you do buy any compatible NVMe drive for the PS5, which they've yet to release what NVMe drives will be compatible with the PS5, that's probably going to run you about the same price anyways, around that range for 1 terabyte NVMe of that, you know, that speed. So, you know, it's going to be similar on the PS5 as well, but the only difference is that the PS5 will allow you to buy, you know, whatever compatible ones they have in a list. So, yeah. Anyway, so as far as loading times go, like I said, the reason you're not going to want to run Xbox One games off of 3.1, I mean, if you really have to, you have to, but the load times are significantly different. It's actually insane. So like I said, you can run Xbox One games or, you know, any backwards compatible games on an external 3.1 USB hard drive, but you cannot with the optimized Xbox Series X and Series S games. So here's the difference. I'm going to throw this up on screen right now. This is actually coming from GameSpot. Here's a few examples of some of the games that are backwards compatible that are, you know, a little bit of a comparison of the load time. So this is Xbox Series X versus Xbox One X. So for Red Dead Redemption 2, on the One X, it takes 2 minutes and 8 seconds, but on the Series X, it only takes 38 seconds. That is so much faster. Again, you're gonna want to run, you know, even backwards compatible games off of these SSDs for that reason. Control, 58 on the One X, 10 seconds on the Series X. Final Fantasy 15, this is huge. 1 minute and 11 seconds versus 13 seconds on the Series X. That is almost a whole minute difference. And then the Outer Worlds, 43 seconds to 11 seconds. So it depends on the game. But I mean, look at Red Dead Redemption 2 again. You know, 2 minutes and 8 seconds. That's almost, and then compared to 38 seconds, that's like a minute and a half difference, give or take. So big numbers, man. Big numbers. These loading times are absolutely insane on the Series X. That's one of the biggest things I'm excited for next gen is these SSDs in the PS5 and the Series X and Series S. Everything's going to be loading so fast. Everything's going to be super snappy. You know, obviously that and ray tracing is another big thing I'm excited for personally, and you know, just different things like that. So that leads into Quick Resume. So Quick Resume is the ability to swap between multiple games on the Xbox Series X and Series S. You can I think you can swap between like 5 or 6 games at a time. So basically what that means is like they're just kind of suspended in the background. So like, let's say you have like 4 games open, right? Let's say you're playing like Call of Duty, some kind of like RPG, and like, you know, maybe like a sports game and like, I don't know, a racing game. I don't know, you know, let's say like you're playing this RPG, you know, you just finished a big boss battle. You're like, all right, man, I need a break. You instantly can swap over to like Call of Duty or something, you know, play a little bit of multiplayer or Halo or whatever you want to play, you know, and then you're like, all right, you know, I've had my fair share of PvP. Let me switch over to like maybe Forza Horizon 4 or something, or you know, whenever they drop a new Forza game, you know, it's like, all right, you know, cool. You get to swap like as fast as you want, and apparently it's very, very quick. It takes about 5 to 8 seconds to swap between a game. So you could literally be in one game, you know, swap to a different game with Quick Resume, and you're in it within like 5 to 8 seconds. So this is going to save so much time. And when you compile all of these, you know, seconds and minutes that, you know, add up throughout even just a year, you are saving a lot of your life just sitting there with loading times, you know, with these faster SSDs and Quick Resume and different things like that. So that's pretty exciting. No word if PlayStation is going to do something similar to Quick Resume or not. So we don't really know much about, you know, how that's going to work with PlayStation, if they do or not. But at least on the Xbox Series X, you will have that. And then finally, they noted that the new controller is only only a slight improvement. So basically it has textured grips and triggers, and of course it has the new share button, which is going to be super convenient because you can just push it to take a screenshot or hold it for a couple seconds to take a video clip. Way easier than pushing the Xbox button and either pushing Y or X, and that was just a hassle. This is so much easier, and then by then you lost your shot, right? And it's going to be so much more convenient to, get those clips or screenshots in the moment really quickly. So again, the controller's not a big difference, which is, I guess, good and bad in different regards, right? Obviously, why fix what isn't broken? At the same time, with what, Sony did with the PlayStation 5, with the DualSense controller, I'm really excited about that controller. There's so many new features in that controller that wasn't in the PS4, right? They kept, a lot of the features that were in the PS4, like the touchpad, for example. They've obviously, redesigned the touchpad. They've added, haptics and adaptive triggers. There's a lot more that's new in that controller, so I'm more excited about that. I don't go, wow, new controller on Xbox Series X, besides the fact that the share button is going to be super convenient, and okay, it has textured grips, that's cool, but again, it's one of those kind of like, well, again, why fix what isn't broken? But at the same time, it would have been nice to see him, kind of add some new features, even if it was just like haptics or anything, anything that's just like kind of, enhances your game, which I think the DualSense is going to do great. But unfortunately, you don't have that on the Series X. But again, like I said, why fix what isn't broken? So it's pros and cons, right? So that's pretty much it, though. That's pretty much all they talked about in this first wave of previews. Again, there's going to be more information. All these game outlets do have hands-on with this console already, so they're going to be, going through it. They're going to be releasing new information, I guess, in the coming days or weeks or, whenever. So whenever we get more information, I'll be the first to let you guys know, especially with the PS5 as well, and all that good stuff. So keep it locked. Like I said, we do everything gaming on this channel, gaming news, gameplays, let's plays, all the good stuff. So, and don't forget to check out the social links down in the description below. Like I said, if you are new, drop a like, subscribe, guys, new, share it with your friends and all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys very soon in another video. Until then, my friends, game on. Thanks for watching.